Good evening, everyone. I'm Lois Ntia. I join you guys from Kesari Boulevard, Ghanansville.
Good evening. My name is John D. Tobe, calling from GSA. I'm joining you from GSA Road, Painesville City, Mosovera County, Liberia.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lisa T. Zizit from Liberia.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Beatrice Peter from Liberia.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Thomas Bina from Bon Mines, RN, work at the pediatric ward.
Yes, greetings everyone. Harris Chlogre from Maryland County, Harper City to be precise. Thank you.
Good evening, family. So my name is Samuel Bobo. I join you from Kakata, Madrid County, Liberia. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm Rachel Wakona. I'm speaking from Kenya. I'm presently in Kenya now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Abigail A. Josh from Tupo Committee. Good evening, everyone. Helena Siapole speaking from Marshall.
I don't know what if anyone can hear me.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Patience Stickler, or RN, BSN. I'm currently in Kenya, doing my study.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Secondary K. Kiri, calling from Tuason, Akiti County. We have
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kaura Mamos from Liberia, to be precise, organized in Miami County.
Good evening to all. I'm Sharon Leader, calling from Monrovia Aluminum Factory to be precise.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Winston Pato, calling from Liberia to be precise, Kakata City, Naikibi County.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
I'm Sedia Masale. I was invited by Dr. Evie, and I'm a BSN registered nurse. I'm currently at Kenya. I'm specializing in pediatric critical care nursing.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Raise, joining you from Mines.
Good evening to all. I'm Success Melo, joining you from Johnsonville.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Taryn. I'm from. Nice to meet you all. Hope we'll all learn and enjoy this meeting.
Good evening, family.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eddie M. Tukpa, and I join from Kakata, Naikibi County.
Okay. I don't, I don't think so. I don't think so because I don't know. If anyone hearing me, please tell me. Okay. Hello, everyone.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Maduka Mpusumab. I'm reporting from Tanzania. I'm a health laboratory scientist working at Sumbawanga Regional Referral Hospital.
Hello.
I'm happy to join you.
Hello, family.
Thank you.
Good morning, good evening, everyone. My name is Musa Breton Musa. I have joined you from Tanzania here at Dodoma, Central City. I am a lab scientist, an intern lab scientist working at Dodoma Referral Regional Hospital. Thank you. Asante.
Hi everyone, my name is
Yes.
Vivian from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, working at Ocean Road Cancer Institute. I'm so happy to join you in this meeting. Thanks.
Yes, I do have evidence. I have it. So I can take.
No,
Did. Yes, I did. I did. Don't mind me, y'all. I'm frying plantain, so that's why I'm not on camera. I'm listening though.
Thank you, Evis. So, folks, it's a pleasure being here once again. My name is Samuel Gogbo. As I said earlier, I join you from Liberia, Margibi County, Kakata. So it's a pleasure to take over from here as your MC for this show tonight. On that note, I have the honor to welcome Miss Lisa T. Zeze, who will do for us our formal welcome remarks. Lisa, you are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good day, everyone. A warm welcome to every one of you who joined our second feature Cancer Awareness today. And I want to let you know that today is another opportunity for every one of us to be informed, empowered, and united in the fight against cancer. Your presence here show your commitment towards this fight. And also, you are all free to ask every necessary question as we go along. And hope we all make this session impactful. Once again, you are all welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate you for that welcome remarks. So, on this note, we will also take Dr. Elvis J. Davis, who will do for us a special statement. Dr. Davis, it's a pleasure. You are welcome, sir. Thank you, Elvis. Thank you for that detailed overview of how the whole cancer talk show came about. Again, it's a pleasure being here. Not to waste most of the time, we will take we'll take introduction of first speaker. We'll take Mr. Malaysia and Jimmy, who will introduce for us the first speaker. Jimmy, you are welcome, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Samuel. It's an honor to introduce our first speaker. Once more here from Liberia. So hailing from the heart of Liberia, Miss Nancy Jade Mowell is a distinguished healthcare professional whose journey is evidence of resilience and dedication. Her academic sojourn was marked by exceptional achievement. A high honors graduate, Nancy J was inducted into both the prestigious Golden Key International Honor Society and the International Honor Society of Nursing. Building upon this solid foundation, she embarked on a dynamic healthcare career. Nancy J's professional journey commenced at Presbyterian Rust Medical Center in Rio Central, New York, where she excelled as neuro-stroke IC step-down progressive care nurse. Rapidly advancing through the ranks, she assumed leadership roles as a clinical practitioner, practice leader, and charge nurse, while also mentoring and developing new graduates and hires. Recognizing her exceptional abilities, supervisors entrusted her with associate teaching associate degree nursing and LPN students at Brooklyn College in Auburn. Nancy J. professional journey commenced at Presbyterian Ross Medical Center. Sorry, this statement has been repeated. As a member of the Seaman Theater 2 International Honor Society of Nursing and the American Academy of Nurse Practitioners, Nancy J. is recognized as a leader in her field. Her ultimate aspiration is to leverage her expertise to uplift her community and country, particularly her native Grand Gila County. With a spirit of excellence and a heart for her service, Nancy J. Moe is poised to make a significant impact on the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you so much for that introduction. So we move quickly to take our first presenter. That will be Survivors Documentary, Miss Yansele Mouon, who is a nurse practitioner from the USA. You are welcome, Miss Mouon.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So my name is Nancy J. Nancy with the J. Thank you so much for the introduction. Let me see, I can share my screen from here. Share. I always have trouble with this stuff. Trying to share it already from here. Let me see when. Uh-huh. Okay, so you say I should go to the share screen? Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Okay, let me see. Let me open my stuff first. And I'll go to this. Go to share screen. Window. Okay, yes, it works. Okay. Okay, let me put it on present. Slideshow. From the beginning. Okay. Yeah, I'm at the beginning. Are you guys seeing it? Yes. Yeah. From beginning. Are you guys still not seeing it? Mhm. From the beginning. Slideshow from the beginning. No, it's not working. Yeah. Okay. Let me stop sharing and redo it. Let's see. So I go to from the beginning. I go to skip. Just interview. Share. It's still not giving me the full stuff. Yeah, I'm seeing the file. Yeah, right there from the beginning, but the yeah, I'm clicking it, but it's not working. Maybe I have to stop my screen for. Can you guys see it now? Okay. It's showing to me, but it's not showing to you guys. I don't know why. Okay, so today I will be talking about cancer survivor documentary. So my name is Nancy J. Mowan, and already had an introduction. So actually, the first question to ask is, who is a cancer survivor? So when we talk about cancer survivor, we're not really talking about like different kind of survive, like, because when we think about the word survivor, it means you already escaped that thing you were surviving. So that means you're no longer going through it. But when it comes to cancer, it's different. So a person that is considered a cancer survivor is a person from the time they were diagnosed of cancer throughout the rest of their life, the time they're living with the cancer or the time they were in remission, which means they have no cancer cells anymore, or till the time they die. So those are cancer survivors. From the time you were diagnosed to the time you live through your life with cancer, we can call you a survivor. You don't have to not have cancer before you can be a survivor. So what does it mean to be a survivor? Like sometimes like change over time. Some people prefer another term. We call it thriver. We are thriving through life because we have this disease or this diagnosis that is very emotional. So we are thriving. So they like thriver, they rather survivor because it's a long process throughout their life. So we have different stages of survivorship. So the first one is from the moment of the diagnosis, even while undergoing treatment, you are still a survivor. In remission or cancer-free, after successful treatment with no current signs of cancer, you are a survivor. Or you even living with a cancer, you managing chronic, this disease is chronic over time. Some of them is incurable, some of them is curable, and you managing that condition, you are a survivor. Or we have long-term survivor, those who live many years after the diagnosis, often with lifestyle changes and ongoing checkups, they're visiting their doctors, they are also a survivor. Till the time this disease take you away or you are out of it altogether, you are a survivor. So example of some real life cancer survivor. So there is this Canadian athlete called Terry Fox. He had an amputee. So amputee means they cut your leg. It can either be below the knee or above the knee amputee. So he lost his leg due to osteosarcoma, which is cancer of the bone. And then we have Robin Roberts. He used to be the host on Good Morning America. He also survived breast cancer and Mario's spastic syndrome. And then the last time Dr. Evans talked about Chadwick Boseman, he lived privately with colon cancer for years. He was even making movies. He finally died from it, but he also a survivor. And then Alex Trebek. Alex Trebek is a presenter. He used to be a presenter on the show called Jeopardy. Jeopardy is a show where they ask you questions and then you answer and you win prizes. He lived with pancreatic cancer for years, until he opened up and tell people that he had cancer, but he was also a survivor. So we have data on cancer survival over time. You know, since 1971, or even before they start talking about cancer, so far, I don't know about data around the world, but in America, we have had 18.1 million cancer survivors in the United States since 1971. And then there is a health resource called Healthy People. So every 10 years, healthy people will come and say, oh, in 10 years, we will do this to make people healthy. So according to Healthy People 2040, they predict that there will be more than 26.1 million cancer survivors by 2040. So that's a good news. At least we're getting somewhere since 1971. So some of the type of cancer among today's survivors, we have different kind of cancer. Like the doctor from Tanzania will be talking about kidney and renal cancer, but breast cancer, prostate cancer, colorectal cancer, melanoma, and gynecological cancer, like uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, endometrial cancer. Most people have survived those cancers, or they live with them, and they are managing life. So let's talk about cancer. So after the initial diagnosis of cancer, it's an emotional breakdown, because the emotion, like imagine you waking up one day feeling something unusual in your body, and you went to your doctor thinking that they say, oh, maybe it's just a common cold, or maybe it's just a common flu or bug or stomach bug. And they say, oh, we have to run some tests, and then they run tests and they tell you that, oh, so we are sorry to tell you, but we found a mass, and this mass we did a biopsy and they say it's a cancer. That emotion, tears, thinking that, oh, because the first thing that comes to our mind is, oh, I'm going to die because I have cancer. There is no treatment for cancer, or even the treatment will kill me. So that emotion about cancer, then after going through the emotion, you have to come to your senses, and then the acceptance stage and adjust to the cancer. So because you have to accept the cancer before you can even start talking to your healthcare team about treatment plans and stuff. And then some people, they like to hide it from their family, because imagine a mother of 3 kids wake up one day and just say, oh, my kids, I have cancer, I'm going to die. And then everybody like in the family just shake up. So some people will hide it from their family, or they take time, like maybe tell one person at a time, or call a family meeting and say, oh, I'm going through this. Because with cancer, you need support. You cannot do it alone. If you have a spouse or partner that you don't even have to be married partner, but somebody that you cohabiting with, or your spouse, you have to set them down, because everybody now, even those with a diagnosis and those without a diagnosis, are about to go through that cancer stage, because everything you go through will emotionally break down your family member or your friends. So everybody gonna be facing that cancer, talking to your children about it. Then after, when you get your treatment plan and everything, you have to find a cancer support group. With the support group, it helps you. You will listen to people's story, how they deal with the cancer, which kind of treatment treat their own cancer. You have to know all these things to give you hope, because you really need a hope. You need the strength to keep going. And the only way you can get that strength is talking to people who also going through like alcoholism. People go to AA meeting, talk to people how they became alcohol free or stuff like that. That's the same thing with cancer too. Then after that, there are some cancer that will leave you different. The colorectal cancer, they will take out your colon and then pour in a colostomy, which is like an opening on your stomach for you, instead of your poo passing through your rectum, now your poo will be getting in the bag. So now it's like a new image you have to accept for yourself. Like, am I going to be passing all around with that poo bag and people be looking at me and people, so you start thinking, oh, breast cancer, you do breast mastectomy, they remove your breast, or and how do you call it, lobectomy, all those kind of stuff. You're going to be a new person. And the other sexuality, because sometimes when you're going through like your partner will not understand anymore. Things that used to motivate your hormones changes, things that used to motivate you, or like sexual activities. You can't have that kind of passion to do things like that anymore. So it's kind of depressing. So you have to accept all those stuff. And then your day-to-day life is like things have changed. If you used to be somebody that wake up in the morning and run out on the street for the first time, you could wake up very weak. You can't do all those things anymore. So all those stuff, you have to put it together and accept everything to be a real cancer survivor. Then they say, okay, we accept the cancer. Now we start treatment, life after treatment. You have to be coping with a new normal after cancer. Okay, you got a treatment. Now you're like, okay, this is me now. I'm not that person anymore. So let me see how I can cope with this, my new life. Or some people they have to cope with the fear of that cancer coming back, because sometimes after treatment, when they do some tests, the cancer cells diminish, they leave, and they call that remission. And then you're like, I haven't had cancer for 3-4 years, and all of a sudden you be worrying, please, that cancer shouldn't come back. Some people have that fear. Taking care of your mind and your body, like we talk about emotion around cancer. So you have to take care of your mind, your body, your soul. To understand, some people will go to spiritual care, like, oh, they're seeking God, they go to their church or support group. You need all that. So there is a lot of stories about cancer survivor, but I choose a story of a survivor named Ben. He survived colorectal cancer. The reason why I chose Ben's story was because Ben is very unique. His story is very unique because Ben was just 29 years old. What we know about colorectal cancer is that you start getting colonoscopy at the age of 45 or 50, or if your family member, the youngest family member in your family to have cancer, so you subtract 10 years and get colonoscopy. But for Ben, he don't have that family history of colorectal cancer. He used to be adventurous or rock climber. He traveled in the forest and do a lot of stuff. So one day he got home and started having stomach bug, like diarrhea, blood in his stool. He getting so tired. All he thought was, oh, did I just caught a stomach bug from traveling all in this place, or maybe a virus? Sometimes some people will mistake all this for gastroenteritis, which is the virus of the stomach lining. So they will have diarrhea and stuff. So that's what he was thinking. But luckily for him, he went to his doctor, which was a nurse practitioner. And then she's like, okay, you know what? Why don't we do colonoscopy? And then he was like, I'm too young to get scope. I'm just 29. But he accepted the fact that, okay, you know what? I will listen to this doctor, and he got a colonoscopy, and that colonoscopy saved his life. Because shortly after, he was diagnosed with colorectal cancer. So he went a whole summer instead of doing his photography and his normal activities and going through all his adventure. He started doing radiation all summer long, and then he did chemotherapy, but then he had to do a surgery. So the surgery was to remove his rectum. So because they're going to remove his rectum, now they're going to have a colostomy. So a colostomy is like an opening, like a stomach, they open on your stomach, and then your poop, instead of it going through the natural way, it will be coming through your stomach in a bag. And you have to get used to changing that bag. They will teach you. Sometimes some people don't even want to look at it because it looks so nasty. You're playing with poop and you're looking at an opening in your stomach lining. So he did that. And after the colonoscopy, he still did another 8 rounds of chemotherapy that left him feeling exhausted and very tired. So I just added this story so that in case I share the PowerPoint, you guys can read much about Ben's story, but I don't have to go all into it. But I'm just telling you this because you have to understand your body, understand the changes in your body, because we can say, oh, we will wait. When I'm feeding this, oh, like example for Africa, if something happened, be like, oh, that's it, that's malaria, that's typhoid, that's this. No, you have to understand what's going on with your body and seek it. But a good thing about Ben that also made me choose a story was Ben accepted his condition. He lived with his cancer and his colostomy. But guess what? He didn't just accept it and let everything go after he got his treatment and they did all his tests and he was okay, cancer-free, but he still have the ostomy supplies and stuff like that. Then decided to work in a company that produced ostomy supplies. So he was a motivation to a lot of people that were going through colorectal cancer or having colostomy. So he was there to tell people how to accept and that it wasn't like a death sentence. So he was like a motivator. So some people survive cancer and use their story to help others. So, and then Ben's story continued and he thrived even though it was the toughest time of his life going through all those human emotions, but he was focused and driven to improve and grow as an artist. So he said, cancer helped me appreciate those I love in my life even more and taught me how to thrive even through the toughest time of my life. So what Survivor tells us? That it is okay to be emotional. We can be emotional. It's okay. It's okay to be emotional. It don't have to be cancer. It can be any diagnosis, something new. It's okay. It's okay to also be afraid of the treatment plans because cancer treatment are not like ordinary treatment that you just go and take a pill and then you sleep. No, it can deal with you. Like last night I had a patient that started her first chemo for uterine cancer, and she had her white blood cells went to 0.5. Her platelet was 7. Platelet are supposed to be all the way to 400,000. Her was 7. So just that one time, everything just depleted. She vomiting. She haven't eaten for almost 1 week since she finished the chemo. So you will be afraid of what the treatment will do to your body. And you don't have to be brave all the time. Nobody want to give you a word for being brave and keeping all this to yourself. It is okay to also be angry with the world and everything about you and your surrounding. It's okay because now your life is about to change. For every diagnosis, every treatment, every emotion, there is a story that can help another survivor. So thank God that we're doing all this awareness, passing a message on to help people talk about it and talk about changes in their body. Then the lesson learned from Ben's story. Cancer doesn't care about age. And that's what we keep saying. Importance of listening to your body. Don't ignore symptoms, especially if it persists. The last time we were talking about melanoma and skin cancer, that when you see a rash on your skin that haven't been there before, is new and start changing in shape, in size, in color, don't ignore that because it been there for a while, it's growing, it's not going away, you have tried everything. Don't ignore that, look it up. Or even you start having diarrhea, you never had diarrhea, you start having diarrhea, blood in your stool, don't just conclude, say, oh, maybe that food I ate last night was poor, that's something like that. Just check, it will not do you no harm. The earlier you get to know, the better your survival chance. And mental health is just as important as physical healing. Get help, seek support system, the support cancer group. Seek them, ask them how they survive, how they live. Detection and awareness of adjustment to colostomy. At 29, we found out that he had colorectal cancer. Why we do colonoscopy at 45 or 50. And then also, he started teaching people, giving that awareness that, oh, you can live with colostomy. I did this, you can do it too. Cancer survivors are warriors. If you see anybody living with cancer or survive cancer, give them a pat on their back. They've been through a lot and they are doing really good. Tell them thank you for keeping all the strength and mental health. At 29, cancer tried to take Ben's life, but he took it back and now he's living it with more purpose than ever. Ways to stay healthy after diagnosis of cancer. Cancer, like I said, is not a death sentence. There was time even HIV was a death sentence. Now people are living years with HIV. So we will get there too. Like the record from 1971 to 2040, we having better results. We will also get there with cancer. So continue maintaining a healthy weight, eating nourishing food, getting regular exercise. One thing I want to stress on exercise, people think, oh, I'm slim, I don't need to go to the gym. No, it's not about being slim. Going to the gym is just to make you healthy. What if you can't even go to the gym is expensive, take a walk. Even if you do 5,000 steps a day or less, just do something to get you and to get your body in good shape or health. Avoiding tobacco or alcohol. We overlook this, but tobacco causes lung cancer. Alcohol causes liver cancer. So these things are very dangerous. But I know almost 99% of people in the world and smoke tobacco or drink alcohol. And then when something happened, they'll be like, I don't know what happened to that guy. He just fell and died. No, it's not like that. He started from somewhere, started drinking this until he damaged his liver or damaged his lungs. Protect your skin from the sun. The cancer melanoma is usually from UV light. So don't just go in the sun and then expose your body, protect your skin. And then this is the reference that you can look at this to get more survival story. They have more than 1,000 people telling you how they survive cancer and how they live with cancer. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you, Nancy J. Thank you for such the great knowledge you just shared with us. I'm glad to be here again to get this kind of teaching free of charge. Thank you so much. On that note, I have the honor to call on Lisa Travis, who will do for us a poem, because it's often said, learning without play makes Jack a dull ball. So we call on Lisa to bring us some little bit of unusual things. You're welcome, Lisa.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Okay, so title of my point is Hope in the Fight. And it goes like this. In whisper of worry, in shadow of fear, a silent warrior emerged year by year. Cancer, a challenge that tears the strong, but hope and courage will guide us through. Let's shine a light on the darkest night and stand together in the fight. For every survivor and every brave soul, we will walk the journey with early detection is the key to the door, to treatment and healing, and a chance to explore. Let's spread awareness and educate with care and support those fighting with love that's fair. In the face of adversity, we will find our might and shine with resilience in the morning light. For every life touched by this cruel disease, we will stand as one and bring hope to ease. Let's rise above the pain and the strife and celebrate life in all its beauty and wrath. For every survivor and every brave heart, we will walk the journey and never depart. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. Dr. Davis, I saw a hand raised up. I'm not sure what we should do with that hand. Or should we continue? No, not your hand. I saw raised. I saw one Fatu hand raised up. That's what drew my attention. But it's okay. We can proceed. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So before I move forward, I will kindly ask Nancy J that you please share in the group chat your presentation for us so that we can make further use of it after the talk. Please, it's my kind appeal. Thank you so much. I will move forward to call introduction of second speaker. I will call Louis Tier. Lois Tier, who will do for us the introduction of the second speaker. Lois Tier, you are welcome to take over for us so that you bring on our second speaker. Thank you.
Okay, good evening again. I'm Lois here. I'll be presenting to you the second speaker. Our second speaker is Dr. Malaja Makoluda. He is a medical writer, researcher, and clinical oncology resident. He is committed to advancing cancer care, scientific communication, and evidence-based practice. Dr. Malanja will speak to us on uterine cancer and kidney cancer tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our speaker. Thanks.
Thank you, Lois. Thank you so much. Not to kill time, I will immediately call Dr.
Malanja.
Can you hear me? I hope I'm not muted. Okay. Yeah, I'm not muted. Thank you. Thank you. So I'll call on Dr. Malonja Nagaluda, the oncology resident from Tanzania, who will bring for us our second talk. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Samuel. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So I will try sharing my screen for system to present. I will start with uterine cancer. Sure. It is here. So I hope you can see the screen. Okay.
Yeah, very clever, man.
Okay. I hope you can see the screen.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the second slide. Yeah. As I've been introduced, my name is Malonja Magaluda. I'm from Tanzania, a clinical oncology resident, doing clinical oncology at the Muhimbili University of Health and Allied Sciences in partnership with Ocean Road Cancer Institute here in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. So I will firstly present on the uterine cancer. We'll do the introduction, risk factors, prevention, and the symptoms and the signs of the disease. So before getting here, okay, yeah, sure. So to start with, this is a uterus. As you know, the uterus is also known as a womb. It is a home for the fetus. It has important layers, which are 3 layers. I'll start from inside. This layer is called endometrium. This layer, it's called endometrium. The next layer, which is made up of muscles, smooth muscles, it is called the myometrium. And the outer side layer, which is supportive, this one, it is called the perimetrium. So the uterus is also connected to other supportive structures. We have the fallopian tubes, and also we have the fallopian tubes on the other side. Also, it is connected to the cervix. This is the cervix, and downward it is connected to the vagina. So the uterus, it has a function is outside. It holds the fetus. In absence of fertilization, it can also being involved in the menses. So this is a literal structure of the uterus. Now we can go to the what now is a uterine cancer. As I have said, the uterine cancer involves the endometrium wall of the uterus. This is the endometrium wall of the uterus. So is the most common cancer among females that occurs in the typical reproductive system. So it happens when the normal cells, they grow out of control. They start to multiply abnormally at a higher rate, and they are not able to be controlled once again. So they form a mass, which is called a tumor, which has the potential of moving to the other parts of the body. And by that time, it is called a cancer. So more than 90% of these cancers occur in the endometrium. As I've shown here, occur inside the wall of endometrium. So we have 2 types of this one. It is called the endometrial cancer that begins in the endometrium, deep inside. Also, we have the sarcoma. The sarcoma is also which involve other supporting structures. Yeah, they can occur in other parts of the uterus, outside of the endometrium. These are data in the grants of new cases of cancer in women, also the number of deaths. So uterus, it is number 2. Next to breast cancer, the second is the cervix uteri, which is a cancer of the uterus. So it is number 2 with about 25 cases per 100,000 of women. Also, it is the second cause in the death among women, the deaths which are associated with cancer. causing about it is nearly 18 deaths per 100,000. So this is a risky factor for uterine cancer. So the most important one is age, but we start with the race. It is most common in the white people, in the European and the North American countries, to be specific, and less common in the black population. But when it happens in the black population, it has poor outcomes in terms of disease progression and the response to the treatment. So again, it can be due to age. It is more in women or in their postmenopausal. So it occurs in women who are aged at least above 65 years of age commonly, but it can occur in other groups of women. So again, diabetes, we have a talk of diabetes in the next slide. So we have hormone. In hormone, regularly, we have the estrogen hormone. I guess some of us know it is a female hormone. So it is responsible for changes in women's bodies, especially post-puberty. So when there is an opposed action of the estrogen, it causes the endometrium wall to go out of control. So it can happen when there is no pregnancy at that moment. So having not been pregnant, it is a risky factor for this disease, and also for women who are having fewer children. Again, sometimes we have supportive drugs which are hormone in nature. We have the birth control pills, which comprise a single agent, which is estrogen. They propose the body to hormonal control. Again, we have alcohol. Yeah, as we know, alcohol causes secretion of it can be stored in the body as fat, so it's another source of this female sex hormones, estrogen. Also, the radiation for those people who are treated prior with radiation, especially in the younger age, in the pelvic area, are very prone to the disease. We have obesity. We have a talk about obesity in the next slide. Also, we have the genetics. Some people are prone to the disease based on their genetics. We have conditions which are inherited. I will mention one of the conditions in the next two slides. So, okay, then these are the risks, as I've said, never having children. Also can have conditions which are accompanied with enlarged endometrial wall. Also being postmenopausal about the age of 55. Also starting periods early, before the age of 12. This can lead to long-term exposure of the estrogen. Also being overweight or obese. This is important things which I've tried to say. Having history of ovarian, uterine, or bowel cancer. So this are inherited in a fashion. At least 4 to 10% of people who are having uterine cancer have the positive history of either ovarian, uterine, or bowel cancer. The condition is called Lynch syndrome. So again, yeah, sometimes to women who are yet to reach their menopause, we use it and are diagnosed with breast cancer. We tend to use the tamoxifen, which is a hormonal component. So it can also increase the risk to uterine cancer. So again, the next pandemic is obesity. So at least now it is approximated that at least in my country, at least 30% of women is obesity, either obese or overweight. This is implicated in the BMI. At least when you have a BMI of above 35, that is called obesity. So obesity can lead to endometrial cancer due to three pathways, which is insulin resistance. This can feed the inflammation, also due to hyperestrogenemia. This is the excess secretion of the estrogen hormone. Fats are important in converting the sex hormone to estrogen. Again, sometimes being obese is brought about with weight gain and physical inactivities. So moving to the genetics, as I've said, at least 5 to 10% of people are prone to get into the disease due to their genetic predisposition. So women who live in the family with Lynch syndromes, also it is called as the HNPCC, have up to more than 60% of the lifetime risk of getting the disease. In this population, genetic testing can help to identify individuals with these mutations. So genetic testing and the counseling is implicated if you are in a family with a positive history of the either of this one, either of the colon or ovary cancer or breast sometimes. So you can go and check the BRCA genes, the genes which are responsible to endometrial cancer. These are the symptoms. The first symptoms are it is abnormal vaginal bleeding in postmenopausal or in women who are no longer having menses. So when they're having abnormal vaginal bleeding, the number one cause, the probable first cause of the disease can be the uterine cancer. For medical professional, this is the most important things you should try to rule out. It is the uterine cancer. So again, as I've said, it can occur in women who are below the menopause age. So they can have bleeding between the menses, excessive bleeding between the menses. So there is higher chances that they can be having abnormal, the uterine cancer. Although they can have other medical conditions also involving cervical cancer. Again, it is having the pelvic pain in the groins. So again, there can be changes in bowel or urine habits due to the disease compressing the bowels and the urine bladder. So it can also bring about pain during intercourse. Also, sometimes we are doing pap test to know the risk of cervical cancer. So sometimes you can have abnormal results which can be associated with uterine cancer. So, okay, these are the treatment options in case a woman is diagnosed with the breast cancers. We can have surgeries, which is a mainstay probably. Also, we can have the radiation therapy. Also, we can do the chemo. We can do the chemo as the previous presenters presented in cancer survivorship. Also, we can do the immunotherapy, which is more targeted therapy to kill cancer cells. So this prevention is the most important part of the talk. It is the prevention of the disease. So the number one, it is to maintain a healthy weight. So don't allow yourself to be obese for any good reason, and unless it is beyond your control, and you know how to do that. Also, you have to get to exercise. Women who exercise have half the risk of the uterine cancer compared to those who do not exercise. So I've said a single agent birth control, I mean that is composed of estrogen only, estrogen alone. So it is a risk factor for uterine cancer. So if you have to do birth control, you have to go with combined actions with the estrogen and the progesterone, the double hormones, not the single hormone. This is the protective factor. Yeah, as I've said here, when you are doing hormone therapy, you should go with the second female hormone, which is progesterone. So in some cases, as I've said earlier, it is to do genetic counseling, the genetic testing, the counseling. There are tests which are available for women who are having the risk in their families. We have positive family history ovary, breast, and the colon cancer. So again, if you can, I've said not being pregnant is a risky factor for uterine cancer. So as long as you can, get pregnant and also breastfeed. And somehow we have to get the habit of screening, doing the pap smear. Of course, the pap smear is specific for cervical, but it can show abnormal cells, which can signify the uterine cancer. With other detection like doing ultrasounds. So this is the last slide. In case you didn't know, this is a uterine cancer awareness month. So we just preach we just wear peach. This color is called peach. This color is called peach, and it is a color symbol, a signature color for uterine cancer. So we preach the awareness to all nations, tongue, races, and genders. So share the red. That is the end of the first presentation. So I don't know if I can move to the next presentation. Okay. So I'm going to the next presentation. It will take at least 5 minutes. So this is so this is the next talk. It is about the kidney cancer awareness, especially this is responsible for the adult population, as we can have kidney tumors even in children. So I've introduced again, my name is Malonja. So you can find me on LinkedIn with the same name, Malonja Magaluda. So what you needed to know, it is kidney cancer ranks among the top 15.
I think it's Antoinette. Antoinette, can you please turn off your mic?
Okay, as I said earlier, this is a kidney cancer ranks among the top 15 most common cancers in the globe. So, of the most important note, it is that it starts in the line, is the inner line of the kidney, as it is in the uterus. So the most common type, there are other types, but the most common type is the renal cell carcinoma. Renal meaning kidneys for non-medicals. So it begins in the line of the small tubules in the kidney. This is your kidney. It was shown here. This is your kidney. So the inner lining of the kidney, it is this one. So the cancer starts in the inner line, this inner line. As you all know, kidney are very, very amazing guys. So they have several important functions, like removing of waste products and the toxins, including the medications which you regularly taking. Also, they have to maintain the balance of electrolytes of the sodium, chloride, potassium, and the other important minerals. Also, they control they control the red blood cell. They have a hormone, erythropoietin hormone, which is responsible for production, stimulating the production of the white cells from the bone marrows. So again, it can help to release hormones which regulate the blood pressure when you are going into shock, when you are losing excess, you are losing blood or fluid from the body that you didn't take charge of it. Also, again, they are responsible in the working mechanism of the vitamin D, as we know sometimes, So they are responsible for infiltration. So they filter the blood, which is loaded with toxins, to clear it to blood which is having less amount of toxins. When you have issues with the kidneys, so you will have excess accumulation of the poisons in your blood, which can lead to several clinical conditions. So this is the global data. Globally, kidney links number 14. The new cases annually, according to data from WHO, there are more than 400,000. And the number of deaths associated with the kidney, it is more than 150,000 cases. So this is a map. Again, this is the data showing the number of new cases, at least from the 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years. These are the data from 2022. So the most prevalent cases of these cancers are seen in the Europe. We have several cases in the Europe. So followed by Asia, again coming to North America. Africa is here, is having very few cases of the renal cell carcinoma. So So in Africa, it ranks 17th. So the new cases are like 17,000, but the number of deaths, if it occurs, it is more than 10,000. So this is a specific condition in your local context from Liberia. Liberia has several, these are the African countries. When you compare the burden of kidney cancer, Liberia is here. I've shown you is this line. Liberia is here. It is having at least new cases, which are 39 new cases, and at least 24 deaths. That was in 2022. So it accounts at least for sometimes it accounts for 0.9 cases of new of all new cancers. So it is not such common, but when it appears, as it has higher chances of death. These are the risk factors. The most common risk factors are the genetic predispositions. We have several, when you have family history of the disease, and also we have some inherited syndromes, so like the von Hippel-Lindau syndrome. Also, again, to the lifestyle factors, especially the Western diet, which we know it is highly in toxins and in carbohydrate as well, smoking and obesity. Also, sometimes having the underlying medical conditions, such as hypertension or chronic kidney disease, this leads to inflammation, to the unregulated body response, which can lead to uncontrolled growth of the cell, leading to the kidney cancer. Also, again, sometimes we use for a long time certain medications, for instance, the over-the-counter painkillers, especially the disease like aspirin or ibuprofen. This damages the kidney, they cause the inflammation to the kidney, so it can lead to cancer. Sometimes we have the environmental exposure to harmful chemicals. such as asbestos for those who work in the mines. These are the symptoms for detection. The most important symptom is blood in urine, which can be red or color colored. Also, you're having pain or pressure in the side or back on the kidney affected. Also, you can have a mass in the side or back, which shows that you have a tumor, you have a cancer in your kidney. Also, you can need swelling of the lower limbs. So the lower limbs shows that your kidney are sometimes failing, probably due to the kidney cancer. So again, if you're having high blood pressure is also a risk factor, but also it is an outcome of having the disease. Also, you can have the loss of appetite. So this is how to reduce your risk to kidney cancer. At least you don't have to smoke. Again, you have to maintain a healthy weight. You have to control your blood pressure. You have to avoid the harmful chemicals. Yeah, especially the asbestos and the other chemicals. So again, you have to get regular exercise to keep your weight in check. Also, you have to mind what you eat by limiting the Western diet. Also, if you can, then limiting alcohol is a good idea. Sometimes you have to check regular health checkup, so to diagnose the disease area in early stage, so you can have better outcomes. So this is treatment modalities, can be surgery, chemo, or sometimes ablation of the tumor. You can have immunotherapy, sometimes radiations, and you have targeted therapy, which targets the cell with the disease. So thank you again for joining us in the Dr. Elvis Oncology Talk. My name is Malonja Magaluda, and this is a call to action. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor, for such a long and educative presentation. We appreciate it so much. So, folks, next on our agenda is the Q&A session. So if you have a question, please raise your hand, and then we will take you to bring on your question. So starting here, we have 2 hands raised up already. I'm going to start with Sedia D.K. Masale. Sedia, you are welcome to bring your question or whatever reason for which your hand has been raised or your hand's been a little while. You're welcome, Sedia.
All right, thank you. And I'm Sadia again once more. Yes, I have 2 questions for the second topic, that is the uterine cancer. So the first questions having to do with, so I want to know what is the typical follow-up protocol after this treatment? And I also want to know what are the common complications of this recurrent after the treatment?
Thank you, Sadia.
Hello.
Doctor, thank you, Sadia. We got your questions. Dr. Elvis, should the presenter answer as the question comes or take the Okay, so doctor, please, would you like to respond to Sadia?
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Sadia, for asking. You said it's a typical follow-up. We usually start with at least 3 months, or you can be lower than that, 1, then you move to 3 with time. You can follow up to even to 5 years post-treatment. So the common complications, they can be due to the disease itself, as I have said, hypertension. Sometimes due to treatment modalities, we have several complications based on the modality of the treatment. You can have due to surgical, you have the surgical complications. Okay. Yeah. Also, apart from surgical, you can have complication due to the chemo. The chemo itself, it has complications to the gastrointestinal systems, even to the hematological. By hematological, I mean is the composition of the blood and its components. So again, apart from that, you can have the GI, from the immuno or in the targeted. Also, again, in that sense, the most common complications are the nausea, vomiting, sometimes even diarrhea. So also you can have the complication to the heart. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Also,
Mm. All right, thank
I want
you.
to add to that. So also another treatment for early stage of endometrial or uterine cancer is like total hysterectomy. So if there is a procedure called OOF. So if they do OOF on you, and then that means they remove your uterus, that means you have no means of having kids because you don't have any uterus. So some people can go into early menopause just because of uterine cancer as well. So, and then another thing like treatment could be a hormone therapy. So before they do a hormone therapy on you, they could also preserve some of your hormones that is still good just to keep it in case of fertility reason. Yeah, I just wanted to add that too. It could be like a complication for some of the treatment that you could not have baby anymore.
Thank you.
All right,
you.
thank you, there.
Wisdom, by your hand was up. Did you leave? If Wisdom left, we'll take Sharon leader. Sharon, can you bring up your question?
Okay, thank you. My question has to do with uterine cancer. And from Dr. Malonja earlier, he stated one of the signs could be vaginal bleeding from menopausal women. So I want to know, can non-menopausal women have abnormal vaginal bleeding that could be a significant sign of this uterine cancer?
Okay, I've stated the area, at least. So there are many conditions which can lead to abnormal uterine bleeding. It is called that AUB. We have this, I think, mnemonic, which is called palmcoin. So you can go and read it, palmcoin. So again, in postmenopausal women, postmenopausal, it is at least 10% in some literature says more than 10% when there is abnormal vaginal bleeding. The cause might be from the uterus. And that is, in most cases, it is the uterine cancer in most cases. So the bleeding occur abnormally. Again, sometimes there are other causes, which can be like bleeding from the cancer of cervix and the other conditions. So again, in the premenopausal and the women who are having their menses already. So it can be it can present as intermenstrual bleeding. Yeah, sure. That is a abnormality in bleeding in women with cancer. So again, we have to rule out other medical conditions which can lead to uterine, to bleeding from the uterus abnormal.
So,
Yes.
then in premenopausal women too, there is this condition called PCOS, PCOS. Most women with PCOS, sometimes they have inability to have kids, they could be obese, and they have a lot of different features too, like hirsutism. So they have menstrual cycle issues. So like we have the 28 to 35-day cycle. Some people will have like their period will come like less than that or more than that. So you having your period line for like almost 45 days, all those kind of stuff. So you just have to, when you see those kind of changes, like Dr. Evans and Dr. Magaluda said, you have to seek help. Early detection is good because not only endometrial will be in mostly premenopausal, but uterine can be in anybody younger than 30 or even 40. I have seen a 30-year-old with hysterectomy due to uterine carcinoma before. So yeah, so bleeding between periods, like, oh, you normally have your 5 days or 7 days, but then you go low, you just bleeding for 10 days straight, 20 and 15 days straight. They have people like that. Or you don't even see your period at all. Because people with PCOS syndrome, because due to their polycystic ovaries, if you see that you just go low, you see a drop, like just little spotting today. Then 1 more will pass before you see another one. You need to check it out. You just need to add that point.
Thank you, everyone, for all the great responses. Next on the Q&A, we'll take Martin Onwansia. Martin, can you please bring on your question?
Okay, thank you. I'm called Martin Mwanzia. I'm calling from just joining you from Mombasa. Currently in Nairobi, Kenya. So my question is, are there any strategies set to prevent cancer in Liberia?
Thank you, Dr. Elvis. So to move forward, we will take, who is that? All the other people. Okay. We'll take Harris Cholope. Harris Cholope, we are welcome for your question.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm joining you guys from Harbor City, Maryland County. So, how do limited access to healthcare contribute lately to the diagnosis of urine cancer and the poor outcome of the urine cancer patients? Hello?
You should respond, I think. I didn't get it right.
Okay. Thank you.
Unfortunately,
Doctor.
our society is ready, like, we are, how should I put it? We just part of the minority that can get things on track or things get done early because, like you said, no access to healthcare. And then another thing is we self-diagnose a lot in Africa. Somebody have headache and like, oh, that person have headache and they took this, so I'm having that same kind of headache, so I will share their medications. And he was talking about renal cancer, like kidney cancer. It's mostly sometimes you take all this over-the-counter medications, paracetamol, Tylenol, all these things then too can also damage your kidneys. So sometimes it's good. And then one of the disadvantages I see in Liberia when I visited was that we can access medication that should have been prescription meds in Africa for common. And some of the people in the pharmacies don't even know the side effects of this medication. They are not educating people that, oh, when you take the medication, don't drive, you'll be dizzy, or you take the medication, don't drink this, don't eat this. Like garlic, ginger, all these stuff, they don't even work with some medications. So there is no, so we are already at a disadvantage. So I really wish that this awareness can make a difference so that people can say, oh, even though you had diarrhea and your diarrhea was because of stomach bug or virus, mine is different. So I need to go and seek healthcare. And healthcare will be expensive. Cancer treatment will be expensive. But at least you know what's going on with your body and you know how to take care of it instead of just blindly treating something that you don't know going on. So we just hope that there will be hope for Liberia or for Africa someday, but we are already at a disadvantage. The more the developed countries around the world or continent. So yeah, unfortunately.
Thank you so much, Nancy J. Harris, will you please put off your mic? I bring on Martin for her question. Martin, you are welcome.
Yeah, thank you. My question has to do with uterus cancer. Can a female patient with uterus cancer conceive? If yes, what will be the child? Will the child be affected or not?
Okay, I will try, then Dr. LDC will add on that. So sometimes, as I've said, there's a age factor for the uterine cancer is above, at least above 55 or sometimes 65. So usually it presents in women who are above their menopause. So when it comes below the menopause, probably in their 30s, which is very rare, so then we can have the dilemma in the treatment. Yeah, you have to, the treatment in the surgeries involves the removal of the uterus, the fallopian tubes bilaterally, and the ovaries. Sometimes part of the cervix is removed. Well, in that case, when you don't wish to preserve their fertility by going and removing the uterus, the chances to conception is very low because you will remove the uterus. Yeah, but when you don't wish, in some cases, depending on the disease as the how the disease is advanced, you can choose to preserve the fertility by giving those chemo for some time and by giving the immunotherapy and targeted therapy. Yeah, for some time. Then you can do that. So they don't conceive in case there was an indication for surgery. The Dr. Elvis will add on that. Dr. Elvis.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Elvis.
Thank you, Doc.
On that note, the last hand that I think the person left. I wanted to bring her on for a question. So if she left,
Well, hello, I didn't.
you didn't use your hand?
Yes, I did and removed it. Okay, good. Yes, okay, good evening. I I just want to ask if only if you have cancer but you do not have any symptoms. So how sure are you have cancer before going to the doctors and everything? That was the first question. And the second question, after having the treatment like chemotherapy or something, will I still be having a chance to giving birth or having a normal life as usual, or there's kind of lifestyle that I have to practice or live so that to have more years, I think? Is there a possibility to know all of that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for sometimes these cancers, especially the ovarian cancer, even the uterus itself, it can be asymptomatic in some women. I mean, it can present itself without symptoms. So in some cases, it can be that, especially the cancers that have chances to grow in the little peritoneum in the sides of the back. So they are diagnosed mostly incidentally. When you are going for just another inch, maybe you are doing a ultrasound